The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more into the breach do we go, dear friends.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
And again, the proverbial pot that never boils, when it's watched, pays off again with the NASDAQ hitting 10,000. We'll give it to anyway, party hats on, Wayne. Anyway, still up 62 on the NASDAQ, down 205 on the Dow. And we've got the NASDAQ off 16, of course. Not a whole lot going to happen till tomorrow. We've got two conflating events. One is the Fed meeting tomorrow. The other one is options rollover. That may not even be over, options Delta neutral day. That may not be over till Thursday morning sometime. Again, if you're new to the show, I'm a big fan of organic reasons for the market to move and not bones on the top of a trash can lid from somebody in the Dominican Republic or something like that. Things that you can kind of hang your hat on. Anyway, one of the ones you can actually test for and do a fairly decent job in testing for is options market makers going delta neutral. This is based on a mathematical approximation of when they should get out of their options market making before the premiums are so low that it would generally cost them more money than to just hedge them out and make them at least neutral until the last 7 days of that. So we've got that really kind of happening tomorrow. We may have a little bit of that happening today. I think we even had a little bit of it yesterday, maybe starting kind of in the end of it. Anyway, pushing higher. Options continue to kind of home in on something that's maybe just a little higher than we have for, the 19th. And so we get a little ways to go. I don't suspect that either today or tomorrow's action means a lot. I do think that the results of what people do with options and short positions over the next couple of days do. We continue yesterday after having a historic short interest on Monday to have almost as much historic shorting yesterday. I guess this is Tuesday. So historic shorting on Friday. I think we had almost 3.5 billion shares shorted on Friday. We got a 3.38, I think, billion shares shorted yesterday. There's no end to the amount of people wanting to dogpile onto losing positions on going short. Eventually, they will be right. As I said before, though, one of the problems with being short a market where everybody else is short is as soon as the market even starts to take down, everybody that's short who's been wrong is they're ready to get out of their position that's been making them feel badly over the last few days. So anyway, we're going to be talking a lot more about that. But the problem is, and I've seen it in markets before, it may just be 10 times worse now, and that is where a market is literally locked and it can't go lower. Everybody is as short as you can get. You really can't throw any more wood on the fire to push the market down. Every time it does, you won't find a lot of people wanting to buy it, but it doesn't go down because they're not willing to sell it. And, of course, the people that have been short for a little while are 10 times more likely to have a trade intraday and not have a long-term position on. A lot of hedge funds, I suspect, are on the wrong end of this stick. And you know what's on the other end of that stick, right? Someone poked it in something that didn't smell too well. Well, they got their hands on the end of that other side of that stick, and they can't wait to let go. So every time you pull down, and does something happen? Yeah. Now, at this point, can they be correct? And the answer is yes. What they are betting on is something that they cannot predict, though. They are betting, I suspect, and not speculating that the market will go lower. Now, sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. Generally, waiting for the signal makes you a lot more money than just kind of throwing dice out there thinking that this is what it's going to be. Anyway, I don't think that we have any kind of meaningful high. My position will easily change if I get any kind of alternate data over the next couple of days. But everything I see says that we've got a market that at worst is probably locked around these highs in 3,200 in the S&P cash for options expiration. Again, 85% of the time, the low of tomorrow will be exceeded by the 19th of the month on options expiration. You have to have a fairly compelling reason to believe that that's not happening. And then when you look and put that back in to the scheme of the seasonality, and that is between Memorial Day and the 4th of July. Whatever happens generally continues right on through the 4th of July. And there is just so much money sloshing around here. People are looking anywhere to make a dime, and the stock market's it. You can yell and scream and shake your fist at the weather. It can be lightning or raining or storming. You will have no effect. And I don't think anybody probably listening to my show has the kind of juice, i.e. cash, to go in and hammer on the markets either. So I think at this point it's time for a little bit of market zen, maybe light just a little bit of incense, and think about the things that you do have power and control over, and focus your attention on things that you can change instead of screaming at the darkness. Light a candle. Just a few thoughts out there. And of course, yes, grasshopper, you can try to snatch the pebble from my hand, but you probably won't do well. And as I said before, just take a deep breath. Let go of those negative waves.
Don't you knock it off with them negative waves. Why don't you dig how beautiful it is out here? Why don't you say something righteous and hopeful for a change?
That's what I say.
Always with the negative waves.
No negative waves out here today. We're just going to hum a little bit. I never understood that was what that was supposed to do. I guess it helps them. We'll be back in a minute. We got a lot of cool stuff to look at today.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Make a deal.
What kind of a deal?
A deal. Maybe the guy's a Republican.
Oh, I love that movie. Just love it. Anyway, is there I'm trying to remember what I watched last week that was just a fantastic movie and made me feel better. With all the horrible things I could put in my brain that they're trying to push into your brains. What was I watching? And I thought, because it was like 8 days ago, I forget fairly easy. But it was the David Lean movie, In the Desert, with Peter O'Toole. Maybe I'll think of the name of it. He went to get the air. Anyway. What do we have going on? I know what we wanted to do. We wanted to go back and do a little history.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
In 1993, a date in history, on this day, a motion picture, Jurassic Park, premieres in Washington, D.C., the highest grossing film in history at the time. The contributions of Jurassic Park to the field of special effects is perhaps the most important, as the original Star Wars movie was 16 years prior. And I won't say I had a hand in it. I was kind of slave labor out at Stanford University, where they were putting together these giant refrigerator-sized memory boxes for Silicon Graphics in 1990. It must have been 1991, and probably 92, because I did it for like 3 years. The company I was working for and did through all the 90s for special effects in Hollywood, we were looking for maybe some high-end product to sell into Hollywood. And it eventually ended up being a product that took the company public. I went the other way. But it was an interesting time. Got to watch and see some of the original and early versions of the output, but I think they had enough memory at the time to play back a preview of, I think it was 10 seconds at a time. That's all that whatever went on film, they could put it on film, but they could only show 10 seconds at any one time. So if there was any scene that was going to last longer than 10 seconds, they couldn't actually see it all from the computer. They'd have to lay it down on film and then have it put together and then come back and make the changes and stuff. But kind of the big change in movies between this and the year after would be what they were in movies called platooning. I think there were 3 major animators, and I think they all together. I think they had maybe 3 machines. And of course, by 5 years later, I was working on probably the biggest movie of all time, or at least my customers were, and they had and just one spot on the Queen Mary in the conference room. They had 45 people working full time for Titanic, and had them actually staying on the ship in the hotel rooms there on the Queen Mary 2, working 18 hours a day. But just amazingly how quick we went from just a handful of people responsible for doing everything to literally legions of people working on a movie, casts of thousands. But had some good times out there in Stanford, and certainly learned a great deal about startup companies. I think probably what interested me more about getting into trading was all the stuff going on there. Yeah, were they nuts? Well, there's a reason why they call it Berkeley instead of Berkeley, California. But down there, had a good time. Okay. Oh, what do we want to do? And what do we want to do it now? Got a lot of charts to look at. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. You can put a message in the den, or, of course, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. Okay. I think I kind of answered that. Unless something drastically changes, I suspect that they will continue to keep this market up at least through the 19th and possibly all the way through July 4th. Markets almost never top when they're being watched. And the analogy to the, what am I trying to say? The analogy to the watch pot that never boils. And to everybody keep shorting. And until that changes, I don't think anything's going to happen. First question of the day comes to Apple. Again, you got a lot of people short Apple. You were looking for it to test 326.34, which is the previous high before. You needed 28.4 million shares. You got 26 million shares right now. So you're going to easily have the volume. You're easily going to hold above this high. It is tough. Now, for those people, I'm going to throw a bone to you that believe that there's nothing but doom and gloom going forward. We're going to look at some charts that actually have some weakness. Now, this is when I'm first starting to see these, and generally when you first start to see them, you want to give it about 7 days, maybe more. So we're pretty close to getting to options expiration date before you wait. In fact, if you're short, probably the best thing to do is wait, and then wait some more, and then wait again, because the market's only going down about 1/4 of the time, and going up about 3/4 of the time, even in a bear market. So generally the idea is to make some money short, get out, and if you are still bearish, wait until it gives some kind of decent topping signal again before you short it. And and be prepared to sit on your hands for a long time, because even in bear markets, it's not that it just goes down for the next 9 months. That's generally not the history of markets. They tend to go sideways or a little up for a long time, then they fail again rather dramatically, and then they kind of go up for a little bit, and sideways and up and really just drive you mad. And when everybody quits shorting, boom, it comes back down. I'm not saying that I see anything that really says that the end of the world is nigh, but we're going to look at a handful of stocks that at least have given signals that there is some weakness. Again, also at highs, I would rather short individual stocks that have already shown weakness than try to short the tops of the market. When we get back, we'll look at Agilent. I got a whole list of stocks here. I'd say 9 out of 10 of them have some kind of bearish pattern setting up. But again, there's about 7,000 tradable stocks in the market, and I've found maybe 25, 30 that show something lower. We'll be back in a minute.
If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're going to go to Dave, who's actually here
Dave.
And not here. How you doing, Dave?
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah.
So it's a Dave, triple Dave on Tombo here. When I
The Daves are not here. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. So I would like to, I'm trying to analyze Tesla. I mean, what a trip.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I see where the high was. got a nice rocket ride this morning off of its low. Previous bid was down. Now it's almost there. So what are your thoughts, Dave?
My thoughts are that just like the rest of the market, it's going to run all the shorts out before it turns lower. Are you trying to short it?
I talked to my broker this morning. There's nothing to short. There's no available.
That wouldn't probably fit with the reality, because I've got the numbers here. Here's what I'm going to tell you that they are doing. Everybody has lost their ass who shorted it, and they're not going to give you the shares. Which broker is it?
Ameritrade.
Yeah. They have an algorithm to keep people that are retail traders out of trouble. It is one of these things where they see all the lambs to the slaughter, and they don't let their traders get into it. So I would say that I'm going to give you at least some facts. There was about 42% shorts in Tesla about 14 months ago. That's about 12% today. So are there none there? No. It just, the broker, his job is to keep you trading, because that's how they make money. And if you go broke, they don't make any money. So when they see a bunch of people deciding that they want to go die on a particular hill, like Tesla or Netflix or anything else that has huge moves, they just don't let them do it. Because, they can do anything they want, really, for whether you can borrow something. And even then, a lot of times they'll sell it to somebody that's paying more. If you ever call them on the phone, sometimes they'll actually charge up for it. So did you catch my conversation the last couple of days about margin accounts?
Yeah, I found it very interesting. Yes, I did.
Okay. Here's the part that most people don't know. A lot of times they'll sell those short positions for money. Let's say whatever it is now. Tesla is trading at $950. I'm a big hedge fund, and I want to short it. Well, they'll let me short it, but I have to give them about $20 extra or $30 extra, and I can get it. So they're not going to sell it to you or let you borrow it and go short it, because they got somebody else over here willing to actually pony up more money, and they get that cash instantly right off the top.
Okay, let me talk turkey with you as far as maybe if you have some kind of a prognosis that looking at the charts or your experience and gut feeling, what kind of action do you think this thing could take on for the next 3 days till the end of the week?
I don't know about the next couple of days. I'm thinking more about options expiration. But I think you could do something. You could do something like
expiration on the 12th,
19th. If you're talking about weekly,
but you could do a covered call on it between now and the 12th.
Yeah, my work is all about forecasting what happens between the delta neutral day of options expiration on the monthlies, because there's eight times more shares than any weekly options out there. So, and two, the option premiums on weeklies is like significantly higher than the monthlies. So you end up with a deal where they really don't care about pushing stocks around on the weeklies, because they're making so much money on those. They're more interested in losing a lot on the options, and that's, I think, where my edge is. But I'm going to tell you a story that goes back a few years to GoPro. When everybody said GoPro was going to be everything, it had gone to $100.
Yeah.
And they were at the highs, weren't loaning any of it at the major retail brokers or retail home game brokers. Let's call it that, right? Home game like America Trade and all. I don't even know who's available anymore, who does that. I've had IB forever, so I don't know who's doing stuff now. But here's what'll happen on GoPro. Whatever it was, it's like $100 from memory. They were charging $120 to let everybody go to short that. So there was a 20% premium just to get the short, and everybody that got the shorts was only the people willing to pay the $20, and there were plenty of people willing to do that on the hedge fund side. You never had an opportunity to short it at any of these retail brokers. And of course, everybody knew it was going down to $5. Everybody knew it had every red flag, so many red flags that the bulls from 5 states were coming in and trying to charge those flags. And so when you get something that's probably a little less obvious with Tesla, my thoughts are that it's going to gap up. You're going to make sure that everybody is out of it. It's going to roll over probably in the same day. So let's say it jumps $50 or $75, gives it all up in one day. That's probably the sign that, and people don't short it. That's probably the sign that the top is in.
Well, right now, it's just kind of, well, it was down pretty good this morning, and then
it was down. Yeah, I'm going to say it was down on a rounding error.
That's interesting.
I don't know what kind of time frame you use, but to me, a percent is a rounding error on Tesla.
Well, I guess that makes sense in a way because it's so expensive.
Well, is it expensive? If they split it and made 10 times the amount of shares, would it be expensive? I mean, I think it's expensive because the PE is something like 250 to 1.
Yeah.
If you really look at it, I don't understand it other than the fact that a lot of people think that eventually it will crank out a lot of cash. Companies that have made hardware are rare in that ability to hold those kind of margins, especially in the automotive sector. There's never been one that's held 20% margins. Huh?
I mean, this company's not making a profit per se. Crazy.
On the books, you can kind of make it, but it's dodgy at best. We'll be back in a minute.
Can I hold on?
Yeah.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com. Educating investors.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we're back. A good question from the den, which is what's the short interest on Tesla? Again, we've talked about how there's really two numbers that you get from the stock market. One is from the exchanges themselves, either the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ. Every 2 weeks, they at the end, like generally on the 30th, last day of the month, and the 15th. And the 15th can be whatever, and the 30th could be whatever trading day is. So they're roughly around that period. You get it twice a month. They require, actually the Securities and Exchange Commission requires them to do an audit of how many shares are actually shorted. Now, you don't get that data for 7 to 10 days later. And so you're always looking in the rearview mirror for that.
Yeah.
But that's... Oh, you are there. Somebody on the...
Yes, sir. Yeah, I was listening intently.
Okay. Well, they told me that we lost it during the break, so that's good.
Oh.
But anyway, it is days to cover that interests me probably more than anything on how many shares are short. There's 1 day to cover on Tesla. That means at least on the last reporting period. That means that on an average day, if shorts covering were the only volume in the entire market for that stock, it'd take 1 day for all the shorts to get out. Generally, I want to look at stocks that are going to squeeze people out at 6, maybe 9 days of volume to cover. And it just makes sense, right? If they're on the wrong side of it, it makes it doubly bad. It's like screaming fire in a crowded theater. What are you going to do when the exits are so narrow? Everybody piles up at the door, and they all end up in a giant headline the next day of being engulfed in a fire and everybody dying. And that is kind of the way it works. There's narrow exits and entrances when you have huge short positions. Tesla doesn't have it. It's got 11% short. At one time, that was 45% short. Days to cover, less than 1. Now, the only thing you can say is the last couple of days, maybe the last 2 or 3 days, people have been shorting really since the 1st of June. People have been kind of heavily going after it. But again, those daily numbers don't tell you whether they covered before the end of the day. So you don't know if they remained it. I would assume that a lot of those heavy shortings since the 1st are people that are not sticking with it, but just shorting it intraday. But there's still...
Let me ask you a question. I'm looking at the chart, a 5-day chart, and Friday it closed at, it gapped up huge on Monday, yesterday. It was at 885 at the close on Friday. And it gapped up like, 40 points. So is that kind of like one of your theories about they'll gap it up and pressure the shorts for covering them?
Yeah, but I'm thinking more about the generally the kind of things that destroy people on the short side is this short right around 700. I mean, this gap around $700.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Going back to April 13th, your close was 650. The open the next morning was 698. So you had almost $48. Those are the kind that really tell you that something happened. You've had a couple of smaller ones up here, but generally you're going to find the clue as to how big they need to be previous in the market. So when I look at stocks like Wayfair, and you see these two big gaps higher. On 4/3 closed at $50.63. The next day it opens up at $69. So let's call it $19, right? The next time you got a gap higher in this that was really significant, it was the May 4th. It closed at 134. The next day it opens at 175. So you've got maybe $40-50 there. So you're getting an idea that is what, when this thing gaps higher, that's what it does. It cleans everybody out fairly significantly. Comes back, maybe fills a little bit of it, but the next gap higher, I'm looking for something like that. I'm looking for $20, $40, something like that, not a $5 gap and it rolls over. Now maybe that's, in this case, it doesn't, but the really juicy shorts are when it gaps up. No one can short it anymore, and it rolls over pretty much in a day or two or three, and no one shorted it at the highs. So you've got a little bit of time, except if it's on earnings or something. Sometimes on earnings, I think my example that I have in my white paper on 3-gap plays is on Netflix, and you could kind of see it setting up. I think it gapped up $100 and rolled over and gave it all back the next day. I'm going to say that's back around 2012 or 2013. If you got my white paper on it, that'll give you a little bit of indication of what you're looking for blow-off tops.
Right.
But it is one of those things where it's going to be huge. It's going to be, if you're short the thing, just imagine being short something like Netflix and it gapping up $70, $80, $90 in a morning. And and then think about how you would feel that day. That's how the other people that are short feel. Now, if you can short that, if someone else is there ready to short it, then it's probably not going down. But if everybody just looks at it and goes, yeah, it's going higher, it's probably actually going lower. Right? And it rolls over during the day. That's it. No one can short it. And that's it. Now, the pros on Wall Street will see that and then start shorting it the next day. And then really they really start going after it heavily. They don't tend to try to pick one day to short if they're really going after the thing. So whether it's Apple or Wayfair or Tesla or any of these other flaky companies with no earnings that I heard about people talking about before, it reminded me, as Nikola. It reminds me that generally these things, when they absolutely have crushed everybody that they can and no one else is willing to come in and bite, that's generally when the things roll over. So, just try to put yourself in the other place of what it would take to have you scream uncle. And that's generally, if you can actually put yourself in the place of that other person, that may give you a better idea of how to think about playing these particular stocks.
Well, I don't want to short it. I'll be frank about that. I just want to figure something out.
Why?
I'm looking at the chart. I'm trying to figure out the chart. I almost look like he wants to fill the gap from what it gapped up on Monday.
Yeah, probably not. My guess is it's going to go down one day in a huge ball of flames. Enron ran for 10 years or whatever. We'll see. later. Got to come back, get one more segment in before the end of the day.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that will take you step-by-step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
Bam! David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And I have to turn the mic back up after my sneezing fit. Down 17 on the S&P cash. Dow down 216, NASDAQ up 50. And, of course, we really didn't talk about volume. Never got a chance to today, but volume pretty strong yesterday. Over 10 billion shares on the CBOE consolidated volume. So it's not a lack of volume on these days up. We had a lot of volume yesterday. I think another record day or close to it. So it's not a lack of volume at these highs. Now, we do have some individual stocks. I sent them out to my subscribers earlier in the day, but we'll go through some tomorrow, especially with the Fed meeting, stuff like that tomorrow. We'll look at them. But these are the stocks that probably should have had huge volume on the way down today. We'll go through them again. But once you start seeing these, and I see 25 or so, generally that's kind of like at the beginning. There's another week or maybe even 2 weeks before you find that you are finding a top in the market. You'll find 25, then you'll find 50. And then you'll hear me on the show one day going, I could spend the next 2 weeks showing all the stocks that hit highs on light volume. And I'm going to say every 3-6 months I'll have a show or two like that, or a handful of days. And that's when the market's really going to turn. If you look a little bit inside, give it a little colonoscopy. Can't even say the word today. Colonoscopy. What I don't want done to me. Looking at a lot of different stocks, you're going to start seeing something develop. But generally, markets do not turn on a dime at a high and give it all up at once at highs. Euphoria, that kind of stuff, takes a while to develop. Again, a lot of humming, a lot of deep breathing, maybe some incense. The day's coming. It will happen one day. The market will pull lower significantly. But I don't see any evidence to that just yet. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to, or cover when you can, not when you have to. And we will see you here tomorrow for FOMC Day with a little less bat.